explain, I guess, the process, the decision making, and I guess how happy you are to be going in next season?
Yeah, that's a good way to start. I'm just going to say that's next season. All of that, the feelings of going back and being a rugby league player is going to be all next season. And sort of my sort of statement or my announcement today was just to, let you all know that I've secured my future, and that's what the Vodafone Warriors, One New Zealand Warriors, and yeah, I'm excited to go back and play some league. But for now, I'm pretty pumped for the season that we have in front of us with the Blues, and looking forward to making a push for playoffs.
You mentioned in the release yesterday, it wasn't an easy decision to leave here. Can you explain what that was like? I mean, for you to make that decision just while you're still at the Blues and I guess confirm your future?
Yeah, it's firstly just the way I like to operate. Prep well is something that I go by, and if I prepare well by getting this out the way and trying to get it in a way that I can make both parties, New Zealand Rugby, the Warriors, Blues, making all parties real happy with the way that I can announce it and not have too much of an effect on, because there's two clubs with a season going, and the Warriors are doing well, the Blues are in a good position to get ready for playoffs. So it was real important for me to do it as soon as I can, and also to not come out and start telling lies to players and not fronting it up front, and that's the way I like to operate.
I know you've still got the season to go with the Blues, but just in your time in rugby union, are you proud of what you've achieved in the black jumper, what you've done with the Blues? I know it's probably not time for reflection now, but
Yep.
just at this point in time making this announcement, how do you look back on rugby union so far?
Yeah, so far I've been pretty happy with how I've been with rugby. With the time that I've had, I'm pretty stoked. I get to represent two of my hometown clubs, which is the Blues and the Warriors, and two clubs that I'm real passionate about. So real proud I got to do that, and also got to fulfill a childhood dream, which is to wear the black jersey. So I'm pretty happy with that, and like you said, there's going to be time for we get to sit back and reflect, but for now that's the announcement being made, and yeah, ready to rock on with rugby.
The Warriors obviously mean a lot to you, and you mean a lot to them. When you kind of engaged with Cam and those guys, what were their reaction, and how did those initial conversations go about wanting to get you back?
Yeah, respectfully, we're in those questions and the details of going into with the Warriors and as a rugby league players will be made later in the year. For now, it's just stoked to be going back there. It's a club that I love, but I'm a rugby man now, and I'm a Blues man, and all those questions and going into details will be later in the year.
Does it feel like it's unfinished business though with the Warriors?
I think it's unfinished business with the Blues first, and that's where I stand right now, and I've got to respect my boys who are about to take the field tomorrow and respect the club that I'm at currently.
Roger, just outlook for the year, is Rugby World Cup still on your radar?
Yeah, it's definitely a dream. It's definitely a dream there, and but before I get to there, I need to get myself back on the Blues park, and that's by preparing well and training well here, and making the team. It's tough competition at the moment. Harry and Bryce are doing really well, and I don't know who's going to take Rico's spot. I don't know if anyone can, but there's a midfield there. That's where the competition is, and it's exciting for the club, and I just got to make sure I can get back to that first.
Have you had conversations with the All Black coaching staff recently?
Yep, yeah. Like I said, I had to front it, and I spoke with Fozzer, and he just said to me he's happy that, like me, secured a future, but it's business as usual. It's back to work.
Roger, has it been frustrating, I guess, the rugby experience? Little things haven't quite aligned for you, the COVID when you first came in, injuries and untimely times you didn't seem to be able to get enough kind of momentum and everything. Has it been a frustrating period that you haven't quite been able to show your best as a rugby player?
Well, the only frustrating part would be the injuries alone. But like I said, I'm pretty happy with the way I've been going to rugby. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not headlining as a rugby player, but still happy with the time that I've had here and so far. But there's still a few more months of me as a rugby player, so I'm going to still be chasing my best and my best self too. So, and that's again just got to prepare well, train well, and try to get on the park.
To get just one start for the All Blacks, and I think 3 tests, again, reflective, I guess, of the talent around you in that position. But again, was that frustrating?
No, again, it wasn't frustrating. It was exciting. It was a challenge. I'm going up against your David Havilis, your Jordan Barrett, your Ricos. Those players are superstars, and I was just pretty lucky to rub shoulders with them, and I still to this day want to continue that. I want to chase that environment, but again, there was no frustration. It was a challenge, and that's how athletes like ourselves, we enjoy that challenge of competing against the best. And and it's going to be the same for this club here. There's a pretty solid midfielders, so I just want to compete against those guys.
Does it feel like after when your rugby experience does end, you'll go back to league a better player based on the last 2 years in rugby?
I would like to say so. I've come and got a new outlook on rugby, and there's some things that I could potentially take back, and hopefully I could improve my game or improve the way I play. So I would like to think so.
How much has Andrew Webster been a part of the process in you returning to the Warriors?
Yeah, it's them, Andrew, and the club's success at the moment definitely played a role in it. But again, those are Warriors and rugby league details I like to get later on in the year. And but I like to say that the way that the club and the way that they're playing definitely helped in the decision making.
Roger, it felt like the COVID situation was part of why you moved back to New Zealand in the first place to be with the Blues. Now that life kind of seems to be getting back to normal, did that play a part in wanting to move back to league as well?
A little bit, and I say, and me, my wife, and my kids, we were pretty lucky and fortunate that we had interest offshore. But the first thing we decided is we want to be home. We love it here in Auckland, and we love New Zealand, and I want my kids to run around with their cousins and grow up in this lifestyle. So that was the first choice, and I'm glad that I'm staying home and my future secured here in New Zealand.
There was talk of rumours about perhaps going to Japanese rugby. Were they seriously entertained?
There are definitely chats there, but again, we decided we want to stay home, and this is where we want to be for the future.
And was there any interest from other NRL clubs as well?
I think that's, again, we can chat about that later in the year and go into details of that.
Nelly, I just wanted to ask, with moments like this you speak of in terms of the support system that you have, in terms of your family and that, being of someone that's within the Pacific and Samoan culture where family is important, how important and vital have they been supporting you?
Yeah, it's massive with family. That's why I play the game. As I've grown up, over the last few years, I've played to make my parents proud, and now that I'm a parent myself and I have kids, now I play to make my kids proud, and I play to feed my kids, and that's what I do now. And securing a long-term deal back home is really important to me, and really blessed that I can do that, and I'm really grateful that I'm still at a club like the Blues, and there's great people here who I call my family as well, and they're supporting me and during this journey too. So yeah, they're a big part.
Roger, you talked about the competition you faced in rugby. There's a guy playing your old position at the Warriors, fullback, Sean's Nickel-Cox, there, doing pretty well. What have you made of his year, in a position you're pretty familiar with?
Yeah, I always knew Chance was going to be an outstanding player. He was special when we were together at the Warriors, and he's special today. And by your positioning, and again, will be details that will follow later in the year. We're on Blues ground at the moment, and we've got to respect that. And I love that. I've secured my future, but at this stage, I'm talking rugby today and to the end of this year.
What do you want to get out of the rest of this season? Then there's obviously a bit of a way to go, but for you personally, where do you like to think you finish at the end of this year?
Oh, who knows? At this stage, I'm just glad that I've fronted the way where my future is going to be, and now I can just enjoy the moment now. I'm a Blues man to the rest of this year, and I'm going to enjoy coming to the gym, enjoy running around with the boys that's in this team. I want to enjoy going to the game tomorrow and representing and wearing I'll be in my Blues polo actually, representing the jersey and the colours. So I'm just going to enjoy each moment, and whatever happens from here is going to happen.
Last one or two, Zion? Yeah.
How are you tracking? Just on that, you're going to be in your polo tomorrow, but how are you tracking? How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I was able to tick off some contact yesterday, so now I can get back into about to get a blowout on Saturday, then full training next week, and available to play next week.
A championship with the Blues, would it be a nice way to bow out of rugby?
Oh, that would be a dream. That would be a dream, just to finish up with a chip here in the Blues again. Proud home team.
Right.
Rog, just one from me. On behalf of Warriors fans, I'd just like to say thank you and welcome back. And I know we're talking rugby today, but have you felt the love from sports fans over the last less than 24 hours about this decision? Because I've noticed so much reaction.
Yeah, it's been awesome, the support I've been getting, and definitely was nervous times, but I'm glad I came out there and put out there, and not just from the league side, my players here that was a big reason why I was nervous. I wanted to make sure these boys, but like I said, with family here, they supported me and been getting a lot of support from right across New Zealand, and I'm grateful, but now it's back to work.